Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, God of Heroics, and today we are talking more Jujutsu Kaisen. And this is primarily because there is something that I forgot to mention last time we talked about JJK, because I was looking through all the videos that are coming to be uploaded going forward this month, and I realized that there is something we talked about in the basics that we didn't really elaborate on as far as full detail, and that is cursed spirits. So, as we said before, cursed spirits come about when non sorcerers have a fear or strong negative emotion towards a thing or concept, and their cursed energy leaves their body because they can't control it, and it pulls into a specific area, thus manifesting their fears as cursed spirits. And then those cursed spirits get to be exorcised by sorcerers who can control their cursed energy, and they can utilize their cursed energy to exercise these curses. And these curses, depending on how much fear and cursed energy is poured into them and how long it takes, they can go anywhere from being just super tiny little low grade curses that can be exercised with no real techniques whatsoever, just a quick flick of the wrist, as Nanami did with that one chick who had the fly head on her shoulder, all the way to things like Ryomen Sukuna, who is, the strongest enemy we've ever seen and had experienced in the mainline Jujutsu Kaisen story, that requires, well, you'll see when the new seasons come out, what it takes to defeat him. But there's some classifications we didn't talk about, which is pretty much what we're going to go over now. There are two classifications, well, three classifications we technically didn't talk about. Special grade curses, which I think we touched on just a little bit. Special grade curses are just the really OP powerful ones that seemingly require pretty much jumping or extremely overpowered characters to defeat, like the disaster curses Hanami, Mahito, Dagon, and Jogo. And then you have even higher special grades like Sukuna, like I mentioned earlier, where he's so powerful. Special grade pretty much doesn't encompass how strong he is, but instead it would take several special grades, or just a few of them at least, with some grade ones, etc., to really take him out. As well, you guys will see going forward. If you consider that a spoiler, I don't know what you thought. Like, did you think Sukuna was just gonna continue to be around and defeat enemies? Did you think he was gonna turn soft and, be forgiven? So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about vengeful cursed spirits, which is something we, for whatever reason, didn't go over, because I guess sometimes I can be stupid. So a vengeful cursed spirit comes about when a person is killed without a special technique, without a curse technique. If they are killed with like a gun, a knife, like a sorcerer gets killed with a gun or knife or whatever, and then they don't accept their death, they can actually end up cursing their own death, or other people can end up cursing their death, and they become a cursed spirit, basically tied to the idea of being vengeful and having a corrupted spirit in a sense. And unfortunately, there are a few cases of this, but usually those spirits end up becoming special grade curses because of how powerful that curse may be. Because you're cursing death, and as we talked about before, death is one of those things that you can use with the binding vow, where the risk of death basically enhances your power. But if the death itself is cursed, well, yeah, that's pretty crazy. So unfortunately, the one that we are talking about right now is Rika, because she is actually the most popular of the vengeful cursed spirits. There are three. I don't want to talk about the third one, but basically, the first one was a character named Michizane Sugawara, who was mentioned very briefly in JJK 0 as being the first vengeful cursed spirit, someone who is an ancestor of both Gojo and Yuta. And then there is Rika, the third one I will not talk about, because we will be seeing them in the future in Jujutsu Kaisen in the anime. But anyway, if you remember how I said they're created, you can probably guess which character it is if you finish season 3. Anyway, so vengeful cursed spirits. The one I primarily want to discuss, like I said, is Rika, and that's because there's a lot of information that has been discussed about this character recently that has really got my wheels turning. If you do not remember, Rika Orimoto was the girl that had essentially promised herself to Yuta Okotsu when they were still in school. She basically gave him a ring, said that she would marry him, and unfortunately, her life was taken from her when she was hit by a car. It was like a brother of Truck-kun or something. It wasn't Truck-kun, but I think it was like Van-kun or something like that. I would have to rewatch the scene. I don't remember exactly what kind of car it was. But anyway, Yuta, not knowing that he was a sorcerer, accidentally cursed her death because he wasn't able to pretty much accept that the love of his life just died, or the future love of his life seemingly had just died. And because of that, Rika became a vengeful cursed spirit tied to the ring that Yuta was wearing, and he constantly funnels cursed energy into it, which basically turns Rika into a storage section for his cursed energy. And as you've seen in season 3, she also can house tools as well for him. So then if you even continue to watch season 3, or if you know anything about Yuta's curse technique being copy, Rika, since she's bonded to him the way she is, can consume body parts of sorcerers, allowing Yuta to be able to copy their techniques. However, the important information that I want to talk about with Rika is actually from the manga. There is, every so often, Gege in the manga would dedicate a page to giving some interesting details regarding a specific character that may not have a lot of details about them, and sometimes he would just be giving extra information for characters we do know a lot about. So Rika's page has some pretty interesting information, some random stuff here and there, nothing too crazy, like Rika's surname being the kanji for prayer and origin or base, meaning that her, and then her first name being like village or hometown, and fragrance, so it all comes down to being like the fragrance of your hometown that that you like pray for, essentially. But yeah, so interesting name for someone who literally died and became a vengeful cursed spirit. But the information that we got on Rika was expanded on. The information that we had primarily was that her parents were dead, and that she met Yuta in the hospital after a specific incident had happened, as like some accidents had gone on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read word for word what this says and give my own interpretations as we read more of it. So, Rika's mother died suddenly when she was 5 from unknown causes. Point number 2. 2 days before Rika went to elementary school, Rika and her father got lost while mountain climbing. A week later, Rika was found alone and rescued by a shelter near the summit. While at the hospital, she met Yuta, who was being treated for pneumonia, and her father was never found, and his death was never confirmed. So, this being the case, most people that would see this are like, oh, that's crazy, her mom died. But then, when she was like 5, and then her dad dying and not being found is pretty tragic as well. Now, here's the funny thing. If you remember, I don't think we went over it in our basic lesson, but it does get stated in the anime. Sorcerers awaken to their abilities around the age of 5, and when they awaken to their curse techniques, they automatically know the ins and outs of their techniques, and it's just a matter of trial and error to see how you can use your techniques better, pretty much, which is how characters who have like a move that can only be done once because they'll die shortly after, that's how they know that those techniques even exist and that it's something they can do, because all that information is just suddenly downloaded into their mind, essentially. So the theory here would be that Rika awakened her curse technique at the age of 5 and ended up accidentally killing her mother somehow. No real explanation as to how that would have happened. But then obviously, because she's not everybody's privy to sorcery, it's possible her parents weren't even sorcerers. Her father didn't know about this, so as far as he knew, her mom just died of unknown causes, whatever that may be. It always says unknown causes. But while mountain climbing, because there was just the two of them, maybe something happened and Rika snapped. Maybe like her father brought something up, or he was digging a little too deep into the happenings of the mother. And Rika, if she is a sorcerer, could have potentially killed her father on this trip. And the reason he may not be found might have something to do with her abilities as a vengeful cursed spirit. Because as you will see when we see the third vengeful cursed spirit in Jujutsu Kaisen, becoming a vengeful cursed spirit, you still maintain your curse technique. And because Rika allows Yuta to copy techniques, it's possible, what if the copy technique isn't Yuta's technique, but instead a technique he can utilize because he's connected to Rika? So basically what I'm saying here is that Rika, her power will be able to manifest some kind of, I don't know, maybe a transformation or a vestige of herself, or even just possibly like, just can, I don't know, maybe she's just straight up eating people. But it's possible that she has a consumption based power where she is able to consume people or consume parts of them, and then she can utilize their technique. Like she can copy it, kind of like how Toga in My Hero Academia can transform into people after drinking their blood. And the more blood she gets, the longer her transformations are. In the same vein, the more of a person that Rika eats, the more of their technique she can copy. But because Rika is likely unstable, as we will see as we continue reading here, because she's unstable, it is very well possible that she just snapped on both of her parents and killed them. Whatever she did to her mom, it's very likely the body was still there, because it says that she died of unknown causes, meaning they found the body but couldn't find out what killed her. And then with her father, the body was never recovered at all. So she probably grew stronger by that time, and with her ability, and freaked out on him, probably way more than she freaked out on her mom, and ended up consuming him. But because he doesn't have a technique, because he's likely not a sorcerer, she didn't gain anything from it. So this is where we get into further with, the whole idea of her being pretty crazy, very much a psychopath or sociopath, whichever you guys diagnose her. Uh, Aware of her appearance, aware of how her appearance is perceived, Rika sometimes manipulates adults, meaning she's literally using her appearance as a small, cute child to gain the upper hand on adults. It doesn't say what she does this for, so it's possible that she just gets a kick out of doing what she probably did to her mother and father. Or it could just be her way of getting what she wants. Or it could be her way of manipulating people through lies, making them believe that she's telling the truth because, kids are so honest, and getting away scot free off of the stuff that she probably has actually done. Like, probably killing her parents. Rika's grandmother from her father's side took her in. She strongly believes Rika killed both her parents, for whatever reason that may be. It's never said if the grandma's a sorcerer. It's the grandma also doesn't say, she's not said to be dead, so there's that at least. But the next point here, Rika stole the ring she gave to Yuta from her grandmother's dresser. It was her mother's wedding ring. That's insane. This woman is crazy. This girl is crazy. She met Yuta in the hospital while he was recovering from pneumonia, and she somehow, in that short time, fell in love with him, basically deciding that he was going to be the person she lived her entire life with. And then she stole her mother's ring from her grandmother's dresser, the mother that is probably dead because of her, and decided that she was going to promise her life to Yuta. And it says, when she was human, Rika was friendly with Yuta's younger sister. However, after becoming a vengeful curse, she became aggressive, which is why Yuta distances herself from her family. And again, as we see with Rika and how much she cares about Yuta and already loved him, being cursed the way she was, it's gonna bring out more of an aggressive side to her because now she's a cursed spirit. But it doesn't change who she is as a person, because she very much loved Yuta and was head over heels for him and wanted to do anything for him. But that jealousy that she felt always came out when it came to like him being around Maki, for example, or when he was bullied and she wanted to protect him from everybody. This is not a stable person. And as you will see again with the third cursed vengeful spirit that you'll see in Jujutsu Kaisen, the transformation of being a vengeful cursed spirit essentially just enhances who you are. It doesn't change you as a person. It just enhances what's already there, much like getting the super soldier serum with characters like Captain America and US Agent and Winter Soldier. It doesn't change them from being the person they are. It just takes the strong traits about them and enhances it on a crazier level, on a much stronger level. So then it continues to say she dislikes everyone besides Yuta. Everyone besides Yuta. It doesn't say everyone besides Yuta and her family. So her mom, her dad, her grandma, clearly she don't like them. Especially girls and older boys. The older boys, obviously the ones that, based on likely the ones that were bullying him, and girls in general, because she's very jealous of any female that comes within Yuta's reach. Aside from disliking her grandma's stewed eggplant, she loves Yuta. That is the last point, and probably the most important point. Whatever happened in that hospital, she loved Yuta so much that she decided to rob her grandma of her dead mother's wedding ring and promise herself to Yuta, which is kind of sad if you think about it. That means that Yuta is forever, well, until he grows old and dies, he's pretty much tied to Rika through the ring that she stole from her mom, and he's completely unaware of this. As far as vengeful spirits, that is pretty much everything we have, because I don't want to talk about the spoiler one. And then there are a couple more spirits I do want to talk about. There is what is known as an imaginary vengeful cursed spirit, and this is pretty much created much like someone's regular cursed spirit, except it is the fear of things that would normally have a vengeful side to them if they were real. So for example, the spirit Kuchisake Ono, who is a spirit that Geto had in the hidden inventory arc. If you remember, that's the one that asked Toji if he thinks she's pretty, and she had her own little domain, by the way, which was pretty crazy, but he was able to cut out of it using the reverse spear of heaven. Or was it the split soul katana? It was one of those two. I think it was the inverted spear of heaven. Anyway, so pretty much yokai, or ghost stories, can influence these things, like the nine-tailed fox, or like I said, the Kuchisake Onna. It's pretty much like, if imagine like if in America we had a fear of Jeff the Killer when the creepypasta was very popular. If enough people were terrified of that idea of Jeff the Killer and him being true to form and acting the way he would eventually pull together with all of our cursed energy and become an imaginary vengeful cursed spirit. And because, well, this one is as powerful as she is, unfortunately she definitely had her own little simple kind of domain, but thankfully for Toji, he was able to cut out of it. And then the last type is going to be the disease cursed spirit. These are cursed spirits, special grade cursed spirits that are created by our fear of different illnesses, pretty much. So like the smallpox deity would be one of those. And to be honest, while it doesn't count as one, or he or it, whatever, doesn't count as one, I would say Kurorushi would count as a disease cursed spirit, because I just freaking hate cockroaches and I think that they're literally a disease on our planet. I don't think he counts. I'm pretty sure Kurorushi is just a regular cursed spirit. It's just a special grade. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over today, and thank you for sitting in with me for damn near 20 minutes while I yapped about something that I should have already yapped about like 3 months ago, pretty much. Anyway, if you like these type of videos, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell, and if you're on mobile, hit the hype button as well. I would really like that. And share this with a friend that loves Jujutsu Kaisen but may not truly understand it. Or you can use this when you're trying to teach your friends about JJK if they don't already know too much. Like I have told you previously, this entire month is going to be JJK related, but everything else will in fact be coming out after this month. I just figured that with the end of season 3 and us waiting for the next season and potentially next movie, this would be a great time to clear up a lot of stuff that's going on. And for future reference, a lot of the videos, or most of the videos that you'll see coming out this month were actually recorded back in January before season 3 dropped. So there was some stuff that I didn't say back then that that people know about now because it happened in season 3. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, guys. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.